Nobody talks about this enough. Sometimes the people you love the most become the people who value you the least. And the painful part? It rarely happens overnight. It happens slowly. A favor becomes expected. Your presence becomes normal. Your sacrifices become invisible. Then one day, you realize something that breaks your heart. You were giving love. They were getting comfortable. And today, we're talking about ingratitude. Not only in love, but in friendships, in families, between parents and children, and how to protect your heart without losing your softness. There's a kind of pain people rarely discuss. Not betrayal, not heartbreak, ingratitude. Because betrayal comes from enemies sometimes. But ingratitude, it usually comes from people you opened your heart to, and that is why it hurts differently. Maybe you have felt this before. You supported someone, you listened, you forgave, you carried emotional weight nobody saw, and somehow, the more you gave, the less it seemed to matter. This is difficult to admit, though, especially for women, because many of us are taught that love means proving ourselves, being available, being understanding, being the strong one. But there is a dangerous line between love and emotional overextension, and most people notice that line too late. Here is the uncomfortable truth. People do not always become ungrateful because they are evil. Sometimes. They become ungrateful because human beings adapt. Psychologists call this normalization. What is rare at first becomes ordinary later, and this changes relationships. The friend who once appreciated your support may start expecting it. The partner who admired your effort may stop noticing it. Even children can slowly begin seeing sacrifice as routine instead of love. This is not always cruelty, but it becomes dangerous when entitlement enters the room, and entitlement is quiet. It sounds like, you always do it, you understand, you'll manage. No gratitude, no reciprocity, only expectation. That is when generosity becomes emotional labor. And emotional labor without recognition becomes exhaustion. This is why some of the kindest people become deeply tired. Not because they hate giving, but because they feel unseen while giving. And here is the part nobody likes hearing. Sometimes we accidentally teach people how to treat us. That is not blame, but it is responsibility. When we constantly rescue, over-explain, overgive, and never communicate limits, people learn our availability, not our value. Read that again emotionally. People often learn your availability before they learn your value. This is why some mothers feel invisible, some friends feel drained, some partners feel emotionally consumed, because somewhere along the way, love became duty, and duty rarely receives admiration. This is why emotionally intelligent women understand something powerful. Kindness needs boundaries, not walls. Boundaries. Because without boundaries, love can become access. And access without respect becomes entitlement. So how do you protect yourself from ingratitude? Not with revenge, not with bitterness, and not by becoming emotionally unavailable. You protect yourself with clarity. First, stop over-explaining your boundaries. Healthy people respect them. Second, pay attention to patterns. Everyone forgets sometimes. Everyone struggles. But repeated entitlement is information. Believe patterns. Third, do not measure your worth by how needed you are. This one changes lives. Being needed is not the same as being valued. And finally, allow absence to reveal truth. Distance has a strange honesty. Sometimes people rediscover appreciation, and sometimes they reveal they only loved convenience. Both answers are valuable because clarity protects your peace. If you have experienced ingratitude, I hope you remember this. Do not regret your kindness. Your softness was never the mistake, but protecting your heart is also an act of self-respect. And maybe the real lesson is this: love generously, but never so blindly that people forget you are human too. I want to ask you something. Have you ever realized someone appreciated your effort only after you stepped back? Or do you believe gratitude should never need distance? Tell me below. I'm reading.